Do you want your vocals to sound like this?
I can't dance to that rhythm that you be playing. That style is so loud and dating back. And yo, what's up? We used to shake it up, word up.
Or this? What's up people, it's Ross Fader back once again, and today I'm going to be showing you how I process my vocals for rave and jungle music. If you've sampled something from a song that originally had instruments behind it and you've tried to take those away, you may be left with some artifacts. So it's always good to do a bit of cleaning, clean it up and add some clarity before we pour on a bunch of reverb and delay. Okay, so one of the vocals you heard in that intro is from Betty Boo and the Beatmasters from the early 90s called Hey DJ, I Can't Dance. Absolutely love this rap vocal. Here's what it sounds like with everything around it.
I can't dance to that rhythm that you be playing. That style is so loud and dating back. And yo, what's up? We used to shake it up.
And let's have a look at what we did. Number one, got a couple of things here in a row to just get that vocal to sound a little bit cleaner. So my theory, and this is not kind of everyone's cup of tea, but when it comes to rap vocals in rave music, I don't want to drown them in heaps of reverb. I think that they sound kind of cleaner, and when you have a really nice bass line and a breakbeat in the background, I don't like to put too much delay and reverb on them. Jungle vocals, complete opposite, but we'll get into that soon. So if I drop all of the VSTs off it and solo the channel, here's what that's going to sound like.
I can't dance to that rhythm that you be playing. That style is so loud and dating back. And yo, what's up? We used to shake it up, word up. Please refrain, don't play games, just spin the beats and we beat. So
you can kind of hear there, there's a bunch of artifacts left over because this vocal has been ripped out of the original tune, and they did a pretty good job, but there's still a bunch of frequencies hanging around, a bunch of little pops that we can try and improve. First thing I'm going to use here is called Clarity. But up there, and it's just a good VST to remove constant noise. I've used it on this setting, remove constant noise, and that's your dial to kind of move up and down. So you want to get it right in the right spot, and you have this little visualizer window to show you kind of what it's doing.
I can't dance to that rhythm that you be playing. That style is so loud and dating back. And yo, what's up? We used to shake it up, word up. Please refrain, don't play games.
So it's subtle, but you can see it's definitely removing some of those bottom frequencies. Up next, we've got a compressor, and for this particular track, I just went with your stock compressor in Cubase 12. Set it around 4:1, very fast attack, tiny bit of hold, and it's gain reducing around 8 dB. So let's listen to that.
Ain't just spin the beats and we be the main thing going. No, but you're holding like a boots with the cooting.
Up next, some EQ. So I've gone pretty hardcore with a really flat high pass and a really flat low pass as well. Just taking some of those top frequencies, kind of above 12.5, 13K, and wiping off everything under 131, because that's where the bass line's going to sit anyway, and we've got a really gnarly bass line with this one.
Every night that ain't right. You should be rocking beats and it should be damn hype.
The last thing I've got here is a de-esser. So some of those words in the rap just kind of catch your ear a little bit. They sound a little bit poppy. They may have some extra S. And I've used the Cubase stock de-esser here and the preset female SH-less. Sitting just in between 2K and 5K, and that's the kind of sweet spot with vocals. So if you have a vocal that's clashing with something else and you want to maintain the integrity of the vocal, dip whatever it's clashing with in that 2 to 5K range. So now with the kick and drums, and we'll add that bass. reverb and delay in rave music and jungle music is about motion, not necessarily about realism. So don't be afraid to kind of pour it on, especially for jungle music. Let me show you a few of my go-to plugins for getting that drowned out jungle vibe. So here's another example of a real jungle sounding vocal, all warped apart. First we've got this jungle techno sample, and that's been put through the Acapella. So really simple plugin to pitch things up and stretch them up like the old Akai. So we've got one part of it which I've looped and then one part which I've reversed there. Listen to how much better this sounds with a bit of Valhalla Supermassive. So I've got the delay turned up, a bit of warp, lots of width, and around 35% on the mix. Let's hear that. The other thing we've got here is the stock standard chopper from Cubase 12. So I've set that to kind of a bit of a sawtooth shape, 100%, 81 depth, and I've got that automated on and off. So here's the end result. So here's another little vocal snippet from an old rap tune, and another one that we absolutely drown in lots of Valhalla, delay, reverb, the whole business to get this. Put it all together. So here's another example of what I've done with some vocals off one of the tracks from the Hardcore Junglist EP. I've done a little bit of parallel compression, and you can see it right here on the screen. I've got one track where I have the vocal compressed using this parallel aggressor. I've got Lifeline Expanse as well. A little bit of stereo delay at 132. So how that sounds by itself. Really nice. Now to beef that up, I've got a couple more tracks where I've split the vocals hard left and hard right. Just put a bit of EQ on the vocal as well. Our kind of female vocal EQ, taking out a bit of the bottom end and pumping up some things around that 5K area. Give it a little bit more life and a bit more color. So all together, they sound like this. Emotions, deeper than I've ever dreamed of. So let's see what that sounds like all together. So here's something that I just started working on recently. It's a Georgia Smith tune, and I quite liked the vocal. I put that in this channel, and I'll show you a couple more little tricks that I've done with it to make it fit with this nice Roland JV sound. And I've got that paired up with a nice think break in the Amigo. So this is the vocal dry. I don't wanna be without your love. I don't wanna be without your touch. And you can hear some artifacts in the background there. So first thing we do is use that Clarity VX to clean things up. And then I've put some Neutron EQ, just like before, kind of hard cut high pass and hard cut for the low pass. Chuck the de-esser on it as well, just above 5K. Got some compression using the UAD 1176 FET compressor. See what that sounds like now.
You don't want to see the ending up.
And now that it's all compressed, some more EQ, just a little dip there, a little bump up. And finally, I've put some Echo Boy on it. So one of my favorite Sound Toys plugins is Echo Boy. We've got it set to ping pong on 16th notes, and I've automated that. So you can see here, we automate how much of the mix is going into that Echo Boy. So it sounds like this.
I don't want to be without your touch. I don't want to leave before I tell you I'm the only one that loves you.
Awesome. Amazing amount of echo on that one. Let's hear it all together.
What do you do when I'm out of sight? How do you feel like you're missing me, baby? I know you don't tell me everything. But where do we go?
And it wouldn't be a Ross Fader tutorial without using the Amigo, but using it for some vocals this time. So let's listen to this dry vocal from a Tina Moore song. Drown that one in Valhalla Massive, of course. Then I've loaded it as a sample into the Amigo, and I've used the slice mode, not auto slice, but transient slice, and I've put them at some strategic places throughout that vocal sample. What this is going to give me the power to do is to use all of the features of the Amigo, whether it be reverses or stretches, or pitching it up and down, changing the cycle length, automating things on and off, to give myself the opportunity to chop up this acapella and do some real cool stabs that will go along with my bass stab pattern or my normal stab pattern. So let's see what that sounds like with a little bit of automation. And with all the music behind it. There's a few different ways you can try out processing your vocals for rave and jungle music. If you liked some of the tracks you heard on this tutorial, head on over to nightforcerevolution.com now, because I got a brand new EP out called the Hardcore Junglist EP, and it features a couple of the songs I used in this tutorial. I appreciate everyone's support on the channel. Us rave music producers are struggling, so we need people to buy more records. Until next time, peace.